As the picture gets clearer, it appears some are just ignoring the law.
Some businesses have been told to close up shop, but they're still open for business. 7 Action News reporter Matthew Smith is joining us live to explain more about this. Matt, how does this happen?
Well, I think you guys said it best. There's kind of this legal gray area that just extended for a long period of time, and it created a lot of confusion. Now, you have to have a license in order to sell medical marijuana in the state of Michigan. That's the law, right? This is the law that came in after a lot of these places actually opened up. Here's the thing, the process is so long to get licensed, no one has one. But there have been some emergency rules put in place that allow some shops to be open, while others have already been told they need to close up shop. If you drive up and down Detroit's busiest streets, it's not hard to spot pot shops. But many have shut down in recent months after cease-and-desist orders began to come from Michigan's regulatory arm.
To be honest, I'm not going to answer any questions. We're going to be all set. But
some, like this shop, the Detroit Clinic, appear on a list published by the state. Readily available online for all to see, it shows more than 150 Detroit businesses they've issued cease-and-desist letters to. They're not alone either. Across town, this store, the Greenleaf Extended Care, had more than a dozen customers in less than 10 minutes while I was there. They'll admit to selling pot, but if you ask about that cease and desist letter...
I'm not the owner, so you have to ask the owner. So.
You're not the owner. Is he here?
No, he's not here right now.
They've got little to say. And I've checked in again and again by phone, still no response, but plenty of business.
Because we're not regulating those that aren't subjecting themselves to licensure, and eventually I think, law enforcement will take action to start cleaning those up. Andrew Brisboe is the director of Michigan's Bureau of Medical Marijuana Regulation. Just this month, they announced that nearly 500 businesses tied to the trade are up for licenses. It is confusing, but if you work in the Michigan pot industry, no one is licensed to sell yet, but emergency rules allow those shops that predate the law and meet requirements of the licensing application to stay open. In fact, we've taken you inside of some of those places in the past, and according to those in charge, the first licenses to legally sell and operate in the medical marijuana business will come out next month. I think we're making good progress, and everyone has a good understanding of what the ultimate goal is here.
But for now, there's still questions about what happens with the businesses that were asked to close, but still haven't.
I'll talk to one of the guys.
You're the owner, though, right?
Can you get that on my face, please?
We did get the camera out of his face and we got off of his property, but we continued to talk to him afterwards, and he actually invited me inside to showcase some of his licenses and the things that are on his wall that show that he can operate. However, those things all predate when those cease and desist letters went out. Now, he insists that he never received that letter. As for the other business that we discussed, I did eventually get a hold of the owner and was hung up on multiple times. What's yet to be seen is whether police will do any enforcement action on this and shut these places down, but we do know right now that there are a number of places in the city of Detroit that are operating without authorization of the state. We'll have to wait and see what happens next. For now, we're live in Detroit's West Side. I'm Matthew Smith, 7 Action News.
Yeah, that does sound like a real gray area all over the place here.
Right. Waiting to see what happens. We'll check in with you in just a little bit. Thank you, Matthew.